We live in the information age, an era when it is difficult to hide anything. Naturally, this makes most people believe that we know almost everything about our Earth. But I want to prove that this is not true. What happened to me cannot be explained by science and is not described in history. I think I am the only survivor, the only one who was allowed to slip away. It happened last month. I like to walk in the forest near my house. I do it almost every day, so I know everything around me well. I am also a photographer. I like to take pictures of the places I visit during my walks. I want you to understand, I know this forest better than anyone else in the area. If you move a stone, of which there are many in the forest, I will notice it. So there is no way I could get lost. One day during my walk I decided that I would return home by the picturesque route. It was approaching sunset, and there was a place from where you can watch it and take pictures. I usually do not listen to music during my walks. I like to listen to birds, crickets, the rustling of leaves in the treetops. Today was an unusual day because I didn't hear anything. No birds, no rustling, no crickets, nothing at all. I knew that when nature was silent, there was a predator nearby, probably a coyote. I thought to myself. I picked up my pace a little and walked for about 5 to 10 minutes before I realized that I still hadn't reached my destination, which was strange. Plus, it was getting dark unnaturally fast. I knew I couldn't have made a wrong turn because it was a straight route. Then I thought about it and decided that it would be better to turn around and come out on the other side of the forest. I would go into town, catch a cab and go home. As I turned around, I heard a rustling sound coming from the bushes nearby. I decided not to pay much attention to it, thinking it was a small animal, and continued on. A few minutes passed, and I realized that I couldn't get to the right place again. This scared me a little, and the oppressive atmosphere of silence only increased my fear. I took out my phone and dialed one of my friends. He answered on the 4th ring. "Hey, this is going to sound weird, but can you hold the line for a little while?" I asked. There was no answer. "Are you there?" I asked again. And then I heard a strange sound. I don't know how to describe it exactly. Like a hiss on the other end of the line. I was completely scared. I didn't know what to do, so I ran. Yes, it was a stupid idea, but at the time, I couldn't think of anything better. I ran until I was physically tired. I stopped and fell to my knees. After catching my breath, I looked around and realized that I was deep in the forest. I was completely lost. I nervously scanned the tree line, trying to see some landmarks to figure out where I was. It was then that I saw what looked like a silhouette of a man standing between two trees. At first, I didn't notice him, but then the moon rose right behind him. As my eyes adjusted, I could make out details. He was about my height, wore a white shirt, and had dark skin. A relaxed expression, a slight smile, and the index finger of his right hand pressed to his lips, as if he wanted to calm me down. The moon hung motionless behind him, and then my thoughts began to fill with thousands of words. But they were not our words, not human words. I remember each of them, but I cannot pronounce a single one. He did not move, and neither did I. I wanted to run, but I could not. I do not know if it was because of fear, or because he did not allow me to run. After what seemed like an eternity, I was able to turn around, preparing to run as fast as I could, only to not meet him face to face. Not a single sound was heard, not even my own breathing and pounding heart. His eyes were full of mocking confidence, as if he were trying to say, "I know a secret that you will never know." And then there was a hiss. The blood in my body ran cold. It hadn't occurred to me until that moment that he could make sounds. I took a step back and realized that something was moving behind him towards me, and as it got closer I heard sliding sounds. Up close I saw that it was two hands, two incredibly long hands, reaching out of the darkness. They passed him and stopped right in front of me. One hand was pale as the moon, the other was pitch black. Both hands opened and stopped. I looked at the figure, which remained motionless, its finger in the same position. I had the feeling that it wanted me to choose a hand. I stood there thinking, wondering what would happen if I chose the wrong hand. In the end, I decided to choose the black one. I pointed at it, but he didn't react. So I tapped the hand lightly, and at the same moment they both recoiled into the darkness. The hissing sound came again. Suddenly, everything became incredibly loud. I could hear all frequencies at once, even those that are inaccessible to the human ear. I had never experienced anything like it. I tried to cover my ears. He leaned over and didn't even move his mouth. But I heard a voice in my head, "Don't forget, never forget." And then the sun set, and I was there. I walked out of the forest, where I had planned all along. I don't know why he decided to let me live. I don't know who he is, or how I ended up with him. I don't know what would have happened if I had chosen the other hand. All I know is that I don't go into those forests anymore.